Hello, welcome back, and happy Easter weekend. I thought I would go ahead and I think I'm just going to go ahead and wrap this up because, well, for one thing, the torque on this rotor is still good, and since I have to watch expenses lately, I'm not sure I, at least at this moment, can afford to swap this out with a rebuilt rotor. I eventually will, but for now, since it keeps perfect time and doesn't make strange noises and everything seems to be in order, I'm going to go ahead and leave it as it is. Plus, I have another Motorola that does have kind of a messed up rotor, so that's kind of in the queue to get done. Anyway, so I took this apart. I cannot get the switch out of there. This whole unit, as far as I know, is pretty much designed to be replaced as a whole. It's all riveted in. I don't want to mess with all of that. This switch seems to be almost a permanent part of. It's attached here. And there's another piece I can't see. Another thing is I need to kind of oil this. I ended up just using a bunch of QRC, or CRC, excuse me, contact cleaner just to get the grunge and grease out of there. And that worked well. Problem that I have with oiling this is that normally when you oil a clock, there are these items called pivot points, which are little depressions that you put a small tiny drop of oil in, which is held in place by and now I forgot. Oh, surface tension holds it in place. So this does not have pivot points, so I've got to do the best I can. The big thing is we don't want to over oil it. Because that's just going to cause more problems, and I don't know how the heck that got stuck in there. Alright, there we go. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is just carefully oil what should be the pivot points. It should be here, 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 here. I think that's it. And there's some in the front which are going to be very interesting to get a hold of. I realized in the previous video I thought this might be the buzzer, but it's actually the power switch. The buzzer assembly is actually right here. When the alarm is set, if I can't do it here, I don't have a thing on there. This piece here pops up and uses the electromagnet here, and this thing just vibrates. Just like an oven timer, I guess. Anywho, so I'm going to go ahead and I can't find any clock oil, although I've used this before. It's actually model train oil, but it's very light and can be used, at least according to them, can be used for small clock movements. So I'm going to go ahead and just put just a tiny bit of oil on here, which that was more than I wanted to. Here, 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 here. I think that's it for that. So I'm going to go ahead and do the front, and then I have to swap this out. As I mentioned, I have this. And then I'm going to start putting it back together. So I'm going to go ahead and attempt, very cautiously, to oil this. Now, using the CRC did work. It's a lot easier now to move some of this stuff around. This is the calendar and date I'm playing with here. So I'm going to go ahead and carefully try to get a little bit more oil into, like I said, what should be the pivot points. and this one actually has a small depression for the oil to sit in. Alright, so I will be right back. Okay, well, I got the oil in about as many places as I could and rotated the hands around a bit. The hands are still stiff to move, but I think that's because you're forcing the rotor to turn rather quickly, actually, because the rotor's connected to the gear that goes directly to the second hand. Anyhow, I just always wondered why these things were so hard to turn, and now I know. Anyway, so the rotor's running. I have it set. It is 11:50. Well, it's 11:56, but you know, it was hard to tell when I turned it on a couple minutes ago at 11:52. So I'm going to let it run for a little bit and make sure that it still keeps time, because God only knows what I may have done. So, like I said, I'll let this run for a while. I have to go to radio class, so I don't know why I'm nervous to leave this running. It's just a magnetic rotor. But I'll go ahead and plug it in. I'll let it run while I'm gone, and then see how that goes. So I will be back in just a few. Welcome back. It's been a little over 24 hours now, and the clock is still keeping time. So, even the seconds. I tested the torque on the clock, or on the rotor. It's strong, so like I said, although I should get it done at some point, it's fine for now. What else? Well, the inside of the knobs were rusty, so I soaked them in our favorite solution, Evapor-Rust, and all the rust is gone. I didn't show it to you before, but it was all full of rust, and it had gotten all over the controls. In fact, it actually discolored part of the dial. So there it is. I've already put the radio portion back in, and the speakers back in. I guess you can see all that. There you go. And the glass is still clean, so I'm going to go ahead and take this apart, and I'll put it in. Oh, one thing I noticed when I was cleaning it, I told you how hot it got. Well, there is a little bit, don't know if you can make it out. It's right there. Oops. There's a little area right above the 50C5 that is a little bit, well, it's starting to crack. It's got the little spider cracks in it, so I'll have to watch that. And anyway, so let me go ahead and do that. I'll be back in a moment. Alright, well, I've soldered in the aerial and screwed back in the the safety plug. Same with the appliance. So let's go ahead and plug it in, and we're gonna fire it up. Alright, why am I getting stuck on? There we go. Okey-doke. Maybe those wires aren't bent enough. Alright, not too tight. Okay, so I guess let me find my grease. I'll be right back. I'm back. The knobs have a little bit of grease on them. It's back on the radio. I set the clock. So we're ready to turn it on. It takes a little while to warm up, but it's got well, no, it doesn't have a soft start. It's got soft start tubes in it, but or at least they call it, it says on the thing, soft start. Hooray! I hear fluorescent light buzz. Okay.
Free shipping is with AARP. It doesn't really matter what your educational level is because it
seems to track about the same as it did before, so.
It's now that you're using the program. There's a spread between the FICO scores as there is for.
All right. Well, it works. Hooray!
Offensive play.
Thanks for joining me for this, and we'll get back to the 4125, I guess, finally. Figure out where I went wrong. So, again, thanks a lot for watching. Happy Easter to everyone, and see you next time.